Welcome back. This is episode 53 of the Love and Light podcast, powered by 103.9 WDKX. I am Willie Lightfoot.
And I am Lovely Warren.
And we are so excited about our topic today of We Ain't Doing That in 2026.
We ain't
doing that.
Stop it.
We ain't doing that. So I want to let you know, to our viewers out there, that the WDKX line is at 585-678-1039, or you can use the open mic app. And I hope some of you have noticed that the app, WDKX app, has been upgraded. It's really cool.
Yes,
so
it
hopefully
is.
you download that and you use the open mic app to leave a message about the show, or on any platform that you may see this show, whether it be on Facebook, Instagram, etc., whatever platform you see. YouTube. We want you to put your like, share, and follow, and also put your comments. You need to know that these shows in 2026 have been all about your comments and what you have been suggesting to us. So all of these topics are coming from you, the viewers and the listeners. And thank you for these things. These have been some good stuff. Remember, the Love and Light show is about talking about things that people don't talk about or don't talk about nearly enough. So our show is a lot different than a lot of other people, because you are actually shaping and framing the conversations here. Yes. So today is all about episode 53 of What We Ain't Doing in 2026, right? What we ain't doing. And we have a couple segments, and what we like to cover today is the cut list. And we thank you, recapping before we get to that, and Lovely will talk about our Love and Light segment. But we want to thank those of you who sent your list out of the things that Black people can't live without. I got a lot of feedback on that.
Yes. I stopped at Walmart.
People was like, I can't live without this. I can't live. So a lot of you sent in your list, and we thank you for this. Is an interactive show, and we interact via your comments on all those various platforms. But Lovely, our love segment is, I think, one of your sores.
Yes. Jasmine Crockett. And let me Black women have it hard.
Yes.
I was hoping that she had pulled out the Senate run there in Texas. And let me tell you, Representative Crockett has truly stood on business. She stood on business and called to carpet those that have been trying to malign, trying to tear down, trying to destroy the very fabric, not only of the United States, but of our community. And to see that she lost the primary there in Texas. She was running for state Senate, and what happened to have her have to run for state Senate, right? And so she is currently a member of the House of Representatives in Texas, mid-year determination. They decided that they were going to redraw the lines. They were going to redraw her district, actually change the boundaries of the district in which she represented it, drew her into another district because they're trying to change, make sure that the Republicans hold on to the House of Representatives. So made her district, the current district that she's in, different, so that it's more conservative, so that she would have a problem running for her current seat. She made a decision that she was then going to run for Senate, and was in a primary and lost a Democratic primary. And it doesn't sit well for me. And I know that we talk about this often, but Black women across the country, especially in political office, if you see how the president disrespects, House of Representative, Crockett, and all the other Black women, I am just sick and tired of us having to deal with this mess that we have to deal with. We are constantly being torn down, and it is just sad. But today
we're
lifting her up.
Yeah, love lifting. So we say shout out to Representative Crockett and for all that you do and all that you stood for, standing 10 toes down. We appreciate you. We see you. And we respect that. And I think it's a good segue into what we not going to do. What we not going to do is continue to put down and or allow others to continue to put down our queens and our Black sisters that are out here grinding every day. All of us have mothers, sisters, aunties, and grandmothers.
But let me tell you, let me tell you why that is absolutely true, right? Because of the fact that, did you see what T.I. and his sons did when 50 Cent came for his wife, right? And their mother and their stepmother, right?
Yes.
So that's what we not is a prime example of what we're not going to do.
That's right.
We're not going to sit on the sidelines while Black women are disrespected and destroyed and talked about and demeaned. We're sticking up for them. And let me tell you, them boys, you know, now I'm not going to say I agree with all of the tactics.
Yes.
But them sons stood on business.
Yes. And so, and I would just tell you this, that we're not going to do that. We're not going to continue to allow that type of behavior or conversations. We have to speak up. We have to hold down especially our Black women and our queens in our community. So again, we say big up to Representative Crockett and for all of the Crockett's out there, right? That are standing on business as well. So once again, this is episode 53. What we ain't doing in 2026 and beyond, right? And so our first part of that conversation is the cut list, the 2026 cut list and beyond, I'm gonna say. And one of those things we're gonna, and I just want to get you kind of like your comments on it, Lovely, is examples are over explaining, being the family ATM. Remember, these are things that people say to us. Entertaining drama, accepting the bare minimum in relationships.
Ooh,
that's deep, right? So just some thoughts around, some of these and I'd like to hear your top 3 things for you that you're not going to do. And then I have mine that you're done with. You just done with, and you just not doing that. And that, saying you done with it.
I'm done debating politics.
All right.
Right. I think that it speaks for itself. What's happening in our country. I'm done trying to explain why things are the way that they are. If you don't know by now, you ain't never, ever, ever gonna know, right? Right. If you don't know by now. So I'm done arguing about politics, okay. Right?
Yes.
I am I think that, I laughed at the and entertaining the drama. I think I am done entertaining the drama.
Yes.
Now I'm not necessarily the family ATM, but every once in a while, you have people that come to you and you want to help out. Sure. If you I truly believe if you have it, then you need to share, right? But it's funny because my relative on my dad's side had called me a while ago, had borrowed some money from me, a cousin of mine.
Was it a real borrow? Is this
no? It was
really borrow.
No, really. No,
we got the cousins that say they borrowing.
No,
but it's never. This a real borrow.
This was supposed to be a real borrow, right? A real borrow, because when I say supposed to be a real borrow, it's like I'm good, and it wasn't like a little sum of money. It was, it was a large. Okay. It was a decent sum of money, okay. Right?
Yes.
And I needed to pay rent, live in New York, and I'm like, all right, cool. Gave her the money, had a schedule for paying back, right? And schedule came.
I can see you a payment plan.
We had a payment plan. Listen, it wasn't just some chump change, right? Assistant was struggling too. So like,
was there interest involved too?
No, it wasn't no interest involved, okay. But it was, like, hey, I'm gonna give this to you, but this is I need it back. And back came, the day came, and it wasn't no paying back.
What happened was, let me tell you that thing about my bank account. You know what I mean? What happened was, did you get that? Was it an excuse?
Listen, no, wouldn't answer the phone.
Ooh, ghosted.
Won't answer the phone because I can't show up at your house now, right? Like, hey, I'm not gonna see you in Wegmans or in the street. So he's like, all right, well, that's cool. But in situations like that, you only get one chance. And then I'm
so you done with debating politics. It sounds like you done with or being more selective on
yes.
What's your third one?
Let me see here.
You said drama. You did say that.
I think drama, but I really have cut a lot of drama out of my life, right?
Yep.
And so I'm not participating, let me say, in other people's drama.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
You know, you're not gonna bring me into your stuff.
Right.
I'm letting people keep their baggage where it's at.
All right.
What's your three?
So one is shrinking.
Oh.
I refuse to shrink myself to make other people feel comfortable. I've done that a lot of my life. And I just said, I'm not doing that no more. And I encourage others out there, you do not have to shrink yourself. Oftentimes we call that being humble. You know, you want and I think there's difference between being humble and actually shrinking yourself. When you're actually really withholding your gifts and your talents and who you are and what you show up to and what you deserve and what you should respect. The same energy that you put in, you should be receiving that same energy back. And so I refuse to do that anymore. When I walk into a space, I know who I am and whose I am. It's not arrogance. It's not, any of that. It's just, I know what I bring to the table. And then no negativity would be my second one. Like, I'm really trying to not be around any of that type of energy. People who are constantly negative, who are constantly bring the, I think about the cartoon Peanuts, and Linus was one of the characters in that cartoon where he had this blanket that he carries around that always had this aura of stench on it that you could see. Like, that's how I believe with negativity happens. There are some people who suck the life out of the room and they have no joy. They have no peace.
The minute they walk in the door, it's like it's permeating off of them, right?
Yeah, it's like Linus.
It's just
that's my best way to describe it. Like, it's like Linus. It's like they have this energy that they do. And then I think my last one is what I'm not going to do is stop putting myself and my health first. Like, I'm going to make sure that I'm putting that. I'm not going to leave me last. Yeah, that's what I'm not. That's what I'm not doing. I'm not leaving me last. I have, because if I can't take, like they say, when the airplane's going down, you got to put your mask on first. Yeah, right. I'm always helping somebody else put their mask on. And then here it is. I'm sitting there, gasping for air, trying to breathe. Right. So, these are just some of the things, but, people sent this stuff in and they talked about over explaining, being a family ATM, entertaining drama, accepting bare minimums in relationships. We want you to continue to tell us what your top three things are. Send it to the WDKX text line at 585-678-1039. Put it, like, share, follow, put it in the comments of what your top three things are, of what you are not going to do in 26 and beyond, and what your top three things are. Yep, absolutely. And we're going into boundaries and why they matter. Yes. When people have told us, when they think about boundaries and why they matter, why do Black folks often feel guilty for saying no? Do you? I do. I still do. As I get older, I think it's not as, but I do. It was hard for me to say no. And how is it for you now that you are retired, right? Because I know in elected office, we try to do a lot and be there for everybody and all that. And then transitioning out, you still feel like I have to try to figure this out. Like, I still have people call me. I have nothing to do with, certain things that's happening. It's like, well, but can you check it out? Can you see? Do you know somebody that I can call? So how is it now for you with that? Being able to say no? No. You see how quickly? No. Niggity no. No, jik, 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 no. Niggity, no. I say it so
like,
it rolls off so
rude.
smooth. It rolls off so smooth. This is the crazy. I had a lady call me and said, listen, I got ants in my house.
Hold on. Back up.
I got ants in my house. And I called my landlord and he won't get out. And I know it's election time. This is what she said. I know it's election time. And I need you to help me with this situation with my landlord. Now, I'm not even...
Hold on. So tell me how you let the lady down without being rude. Now, I know she didn't call you about no ants.
I ain't even call her back.
Well, that's
straight like that. Like, that don't even require. So, and I had a lady in Walmart or something. I was in some store. And she's like, oh, Willie, I need to talk to you. Blah, blah, blah. I got this issue going on. And I know you on city council. And I'm polite. You know, I said, listen, you know, man, I appreciate your problem. And I try to lead them in the right direction. But to answer your question, I'm getting more comfortable now because remember what I said, what I'm not going to do is put me last.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've done throughout my 20 years of being an elected official, 30 years of serving in civic government, I've always put the people first, even oftentimes before my family, before my own situations, my businesses, and et cetera. And so now I'm saying, and I think, you know, being over 50, there's another thing
layered in that, right?
There's another thing that happens too. I think I've earned the right to say no.
Yeah,
you understand? So I'm above 50. I'm all the way grown.
Right. You pounding on you pounding on the desk like no. I said,
but I'm respectful though. But
yeah.
I think boundaries, you have to, even in the church, as a pastor, everybody, you know, think that they have, you know, it's a 24-hour, 365, 7 days a week job. And everybody think they're supposed to have direct access to the pastor. And you know, you answer your phone when I call. You never know when somebody's passed or when there's some type of emergency, somebody's went to the hospital, all these type of things. And, you know, I heard one pastor say one time, he was telling me that he had these ladies in the church and they said, well, we're going to come over and help you and your wife cook that food and all. He's like, you're not coming over to my house. And they was like, what do you mean? We want to help you, pastor. He's like, no, I'm your pastor. I'm not your friend. And so we're not looking for friends. We're not looking for you to come and help us at our home. And our home is our sanctuary. We don't need you there. You know what I mean? And, you know, you can help us at the church and things like that. But he was talking about setting clear boundaries,
right? Or
that this thing can just get overwhelming. And I think it's important. And our viewers have distinguished that what they're not going to do and what we need to do, especially as Black folks and as people in general, is why these boundaries matter and how to set them without being rude.
Yeah, you know,
you grow graceful with it. Well, you know,
well, I try to be graceful with it, right? You know, when you were talking, it made me think about. So when I was mayor, I started a lawsuit against the opioid folks,
right?
And, you know, that lawsuit is still going on. So I got a call from the attorneys that's handling it. I was like, well, you know, you have to do a deposition about why you started the lawsuit and all that. And so we had it scheduled for one day and then, you know, they needed to reschedule. So I'm like, all right, fine. And reschedule it. And, you know, technically you're supposed to be there for a certain amount of time. Like, I think it's like a minimum of 7 hours. Right. And it was bumping up against my daughter, a time that I needed to be with my daughter. And I had something to do with her. And I'm like, look, and so it's like, oh, well, we need you to stay. We need you to, I can't do it. Like, are you sure there's nobody else? No. Now before I'd have figured it out. Like, oh, well, somebody else got to take her. Somebody else got to do this. Somebody else.
At your daughter's expense, though.
At my daughter's expense.
That part.
I would have done that. You know what I mean?
And I've done it many times, too.
But my thing is like, no, I got to go. You know, I'm out. If it ain't done at that time, I'll come back. But that's my priority right now. This is not my priority. I care about it. Absolutely, 100%. Sure. I believe in what we're doing and what I set the stage for, but I'm not going to not do what I need to do as it pertains to my child first. So
episode
they had
53,
me out in time.
And what we just heard is what we ain't doing that.
Yes.
26 and beyond. And we want to hear your list of what you ain't doing. in 26 and beyond. Text the WDKX text line at 585-678-1039. If you haven't already done so, I highly recommend that you download the app. It's a great app. And then make sure you like, share, follow in the comments. Into our final segment of what the community reset should we be doing in regards to what we ain't doing, or we ain't doing that. And I think we've already kind of discussed one when we were talking about Representative Crockett, that what we ain't doing is putting down our African-American women, right? So that's something as a community we definitely need to leave behind.
Stop with the with the nonsense, right? Yes. You know what I mean? It's like, it is truly just a bunch of nonsense. People that look for a reason to be contrary, a reason to tear somebody down. I mean, it is 2026 and you still on the same thing. Right. Get over it. Yes. You still when I say get over it, I'm saying you still dealing with the same things the same way and being demeaning and degrading and, trying to have that I got your moment, on people, right?
We ain't doing that.
We're not doing that.
We ain't doing that. Period, point blank. And we encourage you not to do that either.
Yeah.
We got to embrace more unity. We got to embrace more, because what you're talking about is accountability. And we got to embrace more joy and taking care of our mental health. These are the things I think collectively as a community that we need to do and leave behind not doing those things, not being unified, not holding each other accountable, not having joy, right? I mean, if nothing else,
not having
waking up,
not having each other's back, right? People, the entire world, we have been through enough as a people.
We got,
right? And that's literally right.
It's real.
If you look at Representative Crockett stuff, if you look at what happened with Vice President Kamala Harris, if you look at, we are all we got.
I wish I had time, because I wanted to ask this question. It'll lead us into a whole nother debate, but we gotta close up. Who struggles more with boundaries, men or women? Who struggles more with boundaries? So we want to hear that in the comments.
It depends on the boundaries.
Who struggles more with boundaries, men or women? So we want to hear that. Quick takeaways that we want to say. We appreciate all of those of you who are listening, who are sending in your list, sending in your comments. Again, you are helping to shape with this Love and Light podcast to topics that we're dealing with on a monthly basis. So we encourage you to continue to do that. And as we've always said before, don't let anyone put a lampshade on your light. Continue to keep shining and be blessed. And we love you until we see you again next time.
Absolutely. And always remember to love one another and lift each other up. We're in this together. This is the Love and Light podcast, powered by 103.9 WDKX.